What's up guys, welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to take a look again at the Samsung laptop from the small laptop lot that I got back in December of 2023. So yeah, it's currently 28th of March 2024, so it's been a while, but I want to separately review this laptop because there's a lot of information, documentation online about it. And there's just a lot to discuss about it, so I think it would make a good video. Plus it's just really cool. It's a keeper. I'm not gonna give this away, unlike the other two laptops. If you're new to this, I got laptops from my grandma, from people, jeez. My grandma's friends, one of my grandma's friends, they owned these laptops, and I got them for free from her with laptop bags, chargers, everything, even mice. I have two. Look, this Logitech mice right here, this really nice one, this M305, came with this laptop. I got some really nice accessories with these, but yeah, it was a Samsung, a Toshiba, and a Asus. The Asus is gone now. I brung it to e-waste because it was too much effort that I put into it. And yeah, it just wasn't worth keeping, honestly. The Toshiba was given to a friend of mine, and the Samsung is absolutely a keeper. If you're new to this and you're really confused, go ahead and watch the first video that I made back in December of unboxing these, and after that, watch the update video that I did a while ago, not too long ago, about all three laptops when I still had the Toshiba back then. Anyways, now that you've watched those, hopefully, we can review the Samsung. So, I'm going to unplug it, because we're going to use it on the battery for this review. Why? I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, this thing is finished now. It's been restored. This is the Samsung R580, a particular high-end model, high-end variant of this, of the R580. My particular model is a R580 JS107. Yeah, there are many variants of this laptop, and we're going to review the JS107 in this video. So first of all, there are a lot of variants of this laptop. Most of them are i3, some of them are i5, most of them are i3. GPU wise, you could either get them with the standard Intel HD graphics, AMD Radeon HD 4570 graphics, which I have a laptop with that graphics card as well. NVIDIA GeForce GT310M graphics and NVIDIA GeForce GT330M graphics. This one has the GT330M in it. Yeah, many variants. There was also a blue version of this, and the blue version either had an i3 with Intel HD graphics or an i3 with HD 4570 graphics, from what I remember. From what I've seen on websites, look, as you can see, there is a blue version of this, as you can see. This particular, yeah, it came in many variants, as you can see. This was a $8.99. The original price for this would have been around $8.99. There would have been also a i7 720QM version of this, which is a quad-core i7. But that never came out, and I probably know why, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, as you can see from this variant online, this one has an i3 370M with Intel GMA HD graphics. So that's the first ever Intel HD graphics ever released. Yeah, there are many versions of this. i3 370M, i5 430M, i5 520M, i7 720QM. As you can see, oh, there's also a version with the HD 5470, as you can see here. I never knew that. Good to know. Many GPU variants with this. Yeah, there's some price was 500 to 900 euros originally. Yeah, that's pretty much it from what I know online. That's actually pretty nice. I may upgrade CPU on this, but that's also a topic we'll get onto later. Maybe I can find my JS107 in here. But as you can see, there's that i7 720QM version that I talked about earlier that never came out. I cannot find any information about this. No videos, nothing, no in real life evidence that this exists. So I'm just going to assume it was cancelled, which honestly doesn't surprise me considering we'll get into that later. Let's see, can we find my GS107 in here? JT102 with the HD 4570 graphics. That's actually a red one, as you can see. That's not a blue model. That's interesting. Just 105 UK with GT310M and a i5 430M, which was 800 euros. That probably suggests that this version was 900 euros, because this is probably the best version that I can find. Look, there's the blue model with the same i3 as that one. No, that's an i5. This one with an i3 with a HD 5470. I think the 4570 is slightly better because it's a little bit older, but it's higher class. But yeah, my GS107 is not mentioned in this notebook check article. But yeah, specifications of this one were originally 4 gigs of RAM, like every other model, 500 gigabyte hard drive, which I still have. Wait, let me actually get that. 500 gigabyte hard drive, Samsung hard drive, because of course, Samsung laptop, Samsung parts. 4 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabyte hard drive, i5 450M CPU, sorry. And GT330M graphics, 1 gigabyte of VRAM. So yeah, this is pretty much the highest end model that I can find from just research. So I hope I have the highest end model. That would be great. Because, I really enjoy this laptop. On the front, as you can see, let me just... this is really awkward precision, but look at that beautiful red design. I seriously love that. The Windows 7 sticker would have been right there, that little white thing, but it's completely rubbed off. There also would have been a NVIDIA sticker next to the Core i5 badge, but that's gone as well. But come on, man, it's a free laptop. Overall, this part of the laptop, just looking at it, it's in pretty good shape. It has a few scratches, but it's not too bad. The keyboard is a little worn, but it's also not bad. I've definitely seen worse. Now, when I got this laptop, let me get the charger out of the socket. My goodness, that's tight. The charger, which I have right here, just a generic charger. Don't think it's a replacement. I first thought it would have been a replacement, but I'm not sure. It may just be a generic charger. The cord on this was broken. It had a split in it right here, and the wires were exposed. The wire itself still worked, but the insulation snapped. I'm not going to use a freaking charger with that. So yeah, I had to replace that cord. That's pretty much it. Nothing else on this laptop is broken. Apart from that, it just performed insanely slow when I first booted up. If you watched my first video about this back in December, you noticed that this took so long to actually get into Windows, despite having an SSD, that I had to stop. I had to go downstairs. I had no more time left to continue making that video. So yeah. This did not have the 500 gigabyte hard drive in here. Instead, this was upgraded to an SSD. This came with a 128 gigabyte Samsung 840 EVO SSD, which is really freaking nice. It's super freaking nice to get free SSDs, let alone a free big hard drive, 500 gigs, with an SSD. So this thing was amazing for parts already, because it came with both an SSD and a hard drive. So yeah, that was very great. The 840 EVO is not in here anymore. This machine is now pretty different from how it was originally when I got it. But it did come with the original 500 gig of 500 gig hard drive and original 4 gigs of RAM, which I swapped out, which I'll get into later. So yeah, the 840 EVO is in a different laptop now, but it's a great SSD. It has like 97% health. It's really good condition. This thing was really at its end of service, of life, of use, when the SSD was in, because the SSD doesn't have a lot of hours on it, so that's great. It ran really hot. It's been repasted with Arctic MX6, and it still runs hot, but a lot quieter, and with normal use, it's a lot better. It's just that with heavy use, it still runs hot, but honestly, that's really not concerning to me, and also really not surprised at all about that. Pretty much every laptop that I've repasted, if you hit them hard, they're still going to run hot, because, well, they're laptops. They have small coolers with, despite being mobile CPUs, still pretty decent CPUs. Unless you have like a mobile U CPU from Intel, then it pretty much shouldn't run hot. If it runs hot, then you have a big thermal paste problem, or just a really super crappy cooler. You can cool those with anything. But yeah, these mobile CPUs still run fairly warm. This is a Arendelle 32 nanometer CPU. This is absolutely first gen Core i5, which I really love. It's one of the reasons why I love this laptop. Just because it's first gen. I secretly always wanted a laptop with a first gen CPU. I also have two computers with first gen CPUs. They're just pretty cool because they replaced the Core 2 Duos and the Core 2 Quads, and they were massive improvements. Though second gen and third gen and fourth gen CPUs that came after that were absolutely enormous improvements over these first gen CPUs. So this is like really in between territory, and I like that. I think that's cool. So yeah, taking a look around this thing, I absolutely love the red design. Hello, it's in pretty good shape. It doesn't even have that many scratches on the lid, despite being all glossy, fairly cheap plastic. I guess this thing was primarily home use and wasn't really carried around, and when it was nicely put in a bag. So yeah, let's take a look around the ports. So on this side we have a SD card reader, full size, headphone jack, already better than the average smartphone, microphone jack, USB 2.0 port, eSATA port that doubles as a USB 2.0 port as well, HDMI, Ethernet, VGA, and your power jack, which is proprietary. Well, proprietary-ish. I have seen monitors from like LG or something that use this plug, but it's like, yeah, it's a weird shape. It has like a circle in a circle. I'm going to show you the charger, just in case anyone needs the charger for this, is searching for a charger for this. That's the best angle I can get on my phone. Yeah, but this is just a regular 90 watt, 19 volts. For anyone who needs a charger, this is just a regular 19 volts, 4.74 amp charger. The cooling system on this is very interesting. It's not as interesting as a different laptop that I haven't reviewed yet, but it is pretty similar and pretty interesting. So, when I had this open, as you can see, there are two vents on here. This is just a weird downfiring vent, and there's also this really big vent on the back, which I really enjoy. I really like it when manufacturers put the fan on the back of a laptop instead of the sides, because I just think on the sides, when you like put your palm down on the desk or something, the heat is gonna blow on your hand, and I think that's really uncomfortable. Some people like that because it makes their hand warm. In my opinion, it's pretty, I don't know, I just don't like it. It doesn't feel nice. So yeah, with this laptop, I don't have any issues with that. But yeah, this side is where the CPU heatsink is. So this is all the CPU heat. And on this side is where the GPU gets all its heat out, which is pretty interesting. It just has one fan with two exhausts. I think that's pretty smart design. There's also a Kensington lock right here, which I forgot to mention. But yeah, there's no like extra ports on the back here, just the battery and the air vent. But yeah, taking a look on the other side, this is where it gets interesting. So we have two more USB 2.0 ports, making 4 in total. And instead of a DVD drive, this is not a DVD drive. Let me show you. So like I told you, this came with two drives, a hard drive and an SSD. But you cannot put two hard drives in here. I don't think the chipset of this laptop supports that, the HM55. Gosh, that's a stupid screw. And the laptop itself basically doesn't have any room for that, but... Oh wow, I stripped that screw. That's great. But this owner, the previous owner, got this HDD caddy, which is basically you take out the useless, quote unquote, disk drive out and you replace it with this, which makes you able to put two hard drives in one laptop. So yeah, this is where the hard drive was. The hard drive was just used for extra storage, and the SSD was the main boot drive. So yeah, so how is this thing now? Well, I've put 6 gigs of Hynix RAM in here now instead of the 4. There was 8 in here at some point. I even put 16 in here, but it doesn't like that because it's DDR3L. I have too much DDR3L, which is low voltage DDR3, and too little normal regular DDR3 SODIMMs. But yeah, 6 gigs is good enough. And I upgraded the SSD even further from an 840 EVO to a 850 Pro, 256GB SSD. And it is currently running a debloated, completely clean Windows 10 install. Basically, I ran normal Windows 10 on here. I've put normal Windows 10 on here, except I ran the revision tool or revision installer, here, revision OS installer, which basically lets you remove all sorts of bloatware, remove Edge, that sort of thing, and it's pretty quick. Let me boot it up on the battery. Talking about battery, the battery on this has been a bit of an issue for me. It wasn't doing too great. Basically it would shut off randomly at something like 70% or something, so it was in desperate need of a recalibration. So yeah, I call this a Smasnug to be funny, because you know the stupid Smasnug meme. So yeah, it's already booted up, which is pretty quick, right? It's at 98% because you know this battery's old. I have no clue what the battery health is on this. When I try to run hardware info 64 on here, it just crashes. But yeah, there you can see the i5-450M or M450 as it's reported for some reason. GPU is not visible because it's old. Old GPUs do not have support to be shown in Task Manager. Don't know why, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I was saying, battery was a bit of an issue on this. It would shut off randomly at completely normal percentages. I actually took this to school once and played Half-Life 2 on it, and it would randomly die. This laptop has a feature in the BIOS that lets you limit charge to 80%. So the battery, it's called what was it called again? Extend battery life cycle span, whatever. If you turn that on, it stops charging at 80%, which is a feature I also use on my Samsung phone right here. I absolutely love that feature. Except it really, I don't know, it screwed up the battery. It made the battery go, what the fuck are you doing with me? So what I did is I completely discharged it to 0, and then I charged it back up to 100%, which took a lot longer than I thought. It was stuck at 99 for a long time until it finally went green, the light of the battery. So yeah, something is telling me this thing needed a good calibration 2 times. I hope it's fine now. I hope it's not going to shut off, and if it does shut off, it shuts off on video and I have evidence then. But yeah, normally when the battery is doing okay, battery life is pretty good on this. For an old laptop that had mediocre battery life from the start, I think this was treated pretty well. I have no clue about the health. I'm suspecting 80%, 75%, and I'm just suspecting that one of the 4 cells inside of the battery pack is just dying more than the others, and the voltage on that particular cell drops too low, and that's what probably makes it shut off. But that's just an assumption. I don't have evidence for that yet, you know. I'm not going to crack open the battery. Also, about the battery, one more thing. If you push on this button, it shows the percentage, how much it has left without even having the battery inside the laptop, which is great because I store my laptop batteries apart from the laptops. So yeah. Anyways, I tried gaming wise. I tried Half-Life 2 and Roblox on this and nothing else as of yet. Roblox wise, it's fine. The screen on this is pretty meh. It's literally just 1366 by 768, which is not a lot of resolution, even for 2010. You could easily find laptops with 1600 by 900 displays, with slightly better GPUs. In fact, I have one, which I will not mention because I still need to make a video about that. But yeah. Considering the GPU is fairly low end, but considering the low screen resolution on this, It runs pretty well, despite that the GT330M was a low-end GPU for the time, let alone the 310M and the HD4570, the HD graphics, and the 5470, sorry. Those are all pretty low-end GPUs, completely viable for this laptop, because the screen is pretty meh, colors are standard. I wouldn't say it looks bad, but I'm also not going to say that it looks amazing or outstanding or any better than the average laptop that I have laying around. Currently, this thing does have kind of a purpose. Like I said in the update video, I don't really have a purpose for this. I kind of do now, and I also kind of don't. Basically, if you're a real nerd and you saw this VG Tool 4.1 down here, I use this for FRP bypassing. For phones that are too stubborn and too new. This is my FRP bypass laptop, basically, because I had to do a FRP bypass on a Galaxy Note 20 recently. And yeah, I already showed you that one, guys, and I was not able to bypass it. It's currently at its normal owner. It's currently back. Basically, I wasn't able to unlock that, and I completely overloaded my main computer with tools and shit, and it slowed it down so much that I decided to just delete everything and make a laptop with a fast, proper SSD for that purpose. And it's pretty great. This i5 runs pretty well for basic tasks. You can definitely tell the two cores. You can definitely tell the fairly low clock speed of 2.66 gigahertz, but it holds its boost clock completely fine. If this runs at 100%, it runs at 2.66 gigahertz all the time. All the time, completely perfect. I like that. So it is turbo boosting perfectly, unlike the quad-core i7s. Those run at their base speeds at 100%, which is why I dislike those, because I don't know why they do that. They're just, I don't know. The first gen laptop i7s that were quad-core were pretty awful because of that. They'd run at their base speed, not their boost speed when they're at 100%, which makes them really slow for gaming and stuff because of the low clock speed. So yeah. Anyways, enough rambling. I'm going to test Roblox on this live right now, but what I'm first going to do is I'm going to get into the BIOS, and I'm going to turn on that battery cycle life extension feature again, so I can show you that. But yeah, this thing has been completely repasted. It's completely been cleaned and dust free from the inside. It wasn't that dusty on the inside, honestly. Really wasn't that bad at all. This thing was taken good care of, yet still used fairly heavily. I can just tell from the keyboard and stuff. But yeah, look, battery life cycle extension enabled. CMOS battery still holds the charge. I did not replace the CMOS battery because I didn't have one on hand, but this laptop is honestly super easy to take apart. If you want a beginner's laptop to take apart, buy one of these broken or something, because these are super easy to take apart. You can pretty much not, apart from breaking clips, which is alright because it also uses screws, there's pretty much nothing that can go wrong with this thing if you're going to repair it or something. Now I'm gonna get back to that topic about the i7. Like I said, there was a version of this with a quad-core i7, the 720QM, which was the lowest end quad-core i7 Intel made for first gen, but that never came out. That never came to be. Well, why? Well, this motherboard, the VRMs on this motherboard are simply not powerful enough for that. I bought a i7 740QM for this exact laptop as an upgrade CPU from AliExpress until I dug through forums and stuff about this laptop where someone upgraded it to a quad-core i7, but it didn't work. Why? Well, you would need to mod the BIOS of this thing because it just doesn't accept that because the VRMs are simply not powerful enough. So the most powerful CPU you could put in here is not a 740QM, or even better, like an 840QM, or maybe even like an Extreme series CPU from that time. No, the best you can put in here is a measly i7 640M, which you've probably already noticed by now. It doesn't have a Q in the name, so it's still a dual core. I personally would buy a i7 620M for this because the 640M is too rare and too expensive. But yeah, if you're ever just a tip in general, tech tip, if you're buying a CPU upgrade for a laptop with a first gen CPU and it is able to do the quad core ones, buy a 740QM. They are super cheap, the availability is insane. You can get them for as low as €4. They're insane value, pretty good CPU still. So yeah. Enough rambling. I'm going to launch Roblox on here, not via Firefox, because Firefox has that stupid CAPTCHA thing that I've been running into, where if you want to log in on Roblox, it has the issue where it wants you to log in into Roblox. It's at 91%, 2 hours remaining. What happens when I plug it in now with that battery extension? Will it just not charge? As you saw, it was actually pretty quick there. The CPU does run. Yeah, it's not charging. Wait, look. Yeah, 90% available plugged in, but not charging. I kind of don't want to run it like this, because then it's going to get hot and never run your laptop on the bed. So I'm going to do a little jump cut and put it on the ground. So yeah, the primary game you should run on this laptop if you want to buy it from gaming is Roblox, because it runs pretty well. I hope that angle is good enough. I'm going to put the screen a little bit more like that. Oh, the light is in the way. I hope it's good enough. I cannot see my phone right now because I'm a little bit behind. I'm very much behind my phone. I'm just going to run this like this. But yeah, general performance on this laptop is pretty good. Speedrun 4, the reason why I'm running this game is not because I'm a fan of it. I'm not into speedrunning games. It's just that this is the lightest Roblox game that I know. And it runs on an absolute potato. You can run this on a GT210. So yeah, we're also going to take a look at the temperatures, because why not? But yeah, for general web browsing, you should get this laptop if you can find it for cheap and just want to do web browsing. Yeah, you need to do some maintenance, like replace the thermal paste, clean it up. But if you don't mind that, this laptop is 100% fine. For normal web browsing, as long as you use an SSD, this thing is great. I mean, the CPU is going to run at 100% a few times. It is going to struggle maybe a very little bit with some websites. Oh, I cannot reach the spacebar with one hand. That's going to be nice. You're all going to laugh at me how bad I am at this, just because I have one hand right now. But yeah, Roblox runs pretty well at 3066 by 768 with the settings over half. This is the graphical settings we're running this at. Is it showing up on the camera? Yes, it is. Oh, there we go. I fixed the lighting issue. But yeah, for general web browsing, stuff like that, this laptop is 100% fine. For gaming, I would not recommend this. Again, it is a fairly low-end GPU. You could probably not even run GTA 5 on this. I've run GTA 5 on a GT445M. And it ran okay, but honestly, you would have to turn down the settings all the way down at 900p. But you know, if you don't mind that, you might be able to run GTA 5 on this with some tweaks. But the CPU is going to really hate that, even with a 640M. So yeah, I do not recommend this for gaming, but for general tasks, the GPU is going to help a little bit as well, because you know, everything has an animation these days. So yeah, for general tasks, this laptop is fine if you can find it for cheap. Don't recommend this thing if you find it for a not so good price. Then just go look for something better. These aren't that rare. I mean, this is my only Samsung laptop that I own, but it's not that rare, this laptop. In fact, I know another person who owned this. But yeah, for Roblox, this is fine. For Half-Life 2, I mean, as you would have probably expected, Half-Life 2 was, like, what, 8 years old or something like that? I can really not do math, can I? Just saying, Half-Life 2 was old when this laptop came out already. It can easily run Half-Life 2 at max settings, but is that really a surprise to anyone? No. So yeah, there you have it. My review of the Samsung R580. Is this laptop still fine in 2024? Yep, it is. It is completely fine for what it is. It's acceptable. It's great for internet tasks. It's great for basic tasks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I absolutely adore the design. Yeah, that's honestly pretty much it. With some upgrades, like RAM upgrade or at least an SSD upgrade, you could use one of these things easily in 2024. If you have an i3 model, even then, this will be pretty usable. I mean, of course, the i3 is going to struggle a lot more with web browsing and stuff like that. It will surprise you how these first gen i5 CPUs have aged, because it's honestly really similar. It's sadly really similar to Core 2 Duos, except, you know, it has newer architecture and stuff like that. The i7s have a different architecture than the i3. This is an Arendelle chip, as you saw. The i7s, at least the quad-core ones, have Clarkdale cores, which is different. I don't know if that has any effect. I don't know if those are better. But yeah. Just for some comparison's sake, a i7 740QM, which is unrelated to this laptop, but a i7 740QM, which is Clarkdale, whatever, Clark something, different architecture than the Arendelle CPU that's in here, is equivalent to a i5 4200M, which is a 4th gen dual-core 4-threaded laptop CPU from 4th generation. So yeah, that just goes to show how much they improved with 4th gen. A 4th gen low-end i5 beats a high-end 1st gen i7, which is pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, that's the Samsung R580. I think this thing deserved a little different, little review apart from all the other laptops. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Have a great day, and see you on the next video.